Welcome to CHART, the Calgary-Haskayne Adaptive Research Tracker. CHART brings together two distinct components, a fixed benchmark ranking, or CHART index, and a flexible research intelligence environment, or the CHART Index Flexible, CHART-IF. Together, these allow schools to understand both where they stand and what is driving their results. We will begin with the CHART index, the fixed benchmark ranking. Within this ranking, every participating school is assessed using the same predefined measures, weights, time periods, and normalization rules. The overall score is built from 4 pillars: input, output, impact, and prestige. Selecting a school up at the top highlights that school across its position in both the ranking table and the pillars down below. The ranking can be viewed on either an absolute or per capita basis. The absolute view adjusts to reflect total institutional performance, whereas the per capita view adjusts based on research faculty size. As you can see, as these are switched, the ranking table will automatically adjust based on what has been selected. Below the ranking, you will find the pillar framework, and these pillars are what put the whole ranking together. Each pillar is set up similarly, where you will find a brief definition, the weight given to that pillar, and the basis on which you are doing your ranking, either per capita or absolute. If you hover over the book icon, you will receive an expanded definition for that pillar. Each pillar has its own individual ranking based solely on that pillar, where you can see how schools compare just in that set of data. And the school that you have highlighted will be highlighted across all of the pillars. Finally, we have included also a report. The report converts the dashboard results into a school-specific performance profile. At the top of the report, you'll find a concise summary showing where your highlighted school ranks both overall and across each of the 4 pillars. The report also explains the fixed methodology percentages and gives detailed information about trends over time across each of the 4 pillars, and includes also additional information like topics that your school will often publish in. To navigate back to the main CHART index, you can click this little arrow at the top. So from here, we can either then navigate into the CHART index flexible or return to the home page where we started. So let's go into the CHART-IF. The CHART Index Flexible is a built-in research intelligence tool using the same data that the CHART Index uses. You'll see here that the landing page looks very similar with 2 additional features. First, we have build a scenario in which you can adjust measures, weights, or assumptions to create a customized comparison, which will allow you to view your data as it relates to the mission of your school. There is also target a rank, in which you can input the rank that you would like your school to achieve, and the system will show you a few pathways in order to get to that point. So let's start with build a scenario, and we're going to now navigate into adjust filters. Within the adjust filters, you have the ability to adjust every aspect of the ranking itself. Similar to the CHART index, you are going to start by choosing your institution. After that, you can work through and either choose your own competition set by selecting schools of interest, or you can use predefined groups such as the U15 or non-U15 schools, or comprehensive medical doctoral schools versus undergraduate schools. So for the purposes of demonstration, let's select U15 only schools. The scenario planner allows you to adjust various aspects of how you're going to view the data itself. In here, we have a number of different journal lists that you can include. By default, we use the FT50 2026, but you can see there are a lot of other options available, and including sublists for the ABDC. I will note that if you choose all other inputs, this will capture every work that OpenAlex has, including book chapters. So if you would like to capture all outputs, I highly recommend using the SCIMAGO list And in here, you can even then narrow down to what quartile of the Cymago, but this will limit you to journal articles only. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to leave it on the FT50 list. Below this, we have various citation metrics that you can choose, so let's adjust to field-weighted citation index. And finally, below this, if you're so interested, you can also select which of the funding agencies you want to look at. So if we only want to look at SSHRC funding, we could, and we can also then narrow this down to specific programs within SSHRC. Finally, the last adjustment that can be made is to the weights. Now, the weights are going to be pre-populated with the chart index default weights. However, you can adjust these to be whatever weighting you decide. So if we start putting in some different weights, you will see that these numbers start to adjust automatically. Now, what you'll notice is it's not going to match what I've typed in until at the end, all of this adds up to 100%. So you can see all of my weights have been adjusted and I've removed weighting off of the prestige indicator. When I'm happy with how this is set up, I'm going to click Apply Filters. And this will take me back into the ranking page. Now, one thing you will notice when you're in here is our school is now going to be highlighted in yellow and will have a little what if beside it, indicating that we have changed something about the ranking. So we're no longer working with default chart index ranking. Up at the top, you'll be able to see what selections you made. And similar to the other one, you can now see how this affects your ranking across all of the pillars. One thing I didn't show you is if we go back into Adjust Filters, an additional feature of this planning is the ability to actually adjust your own data. So if you were imagining your school of interest and wanted to gameplay a different scenario and say, what if my school had now 75 faculty members? And what if those 75 faculty members now publish 72 journal articles? And what if that additional increase to my faculty results in $6 million of funding? Then how do we rank? And if we go back here and apply filters, once again, the ranking will automatically adjust based on those changes you've made. This will again be denoted with your what if, but you'll see at the top, it will show you your active what if adjustments. Similar to the chart index, all of this is reflected in a report. So if we open this now, because the reports have a lot of data in them, they can take some time to load, but be patient, they are coming. So similar to the fixed chart index, the chart index flexible report will give you your overall rank based on how you have set up the various filters within the chart if environment. If we zoom in a little bit to the top, you'll see that it will show us what competition set we selected and how many institutions are included. Down at the bottom of the report, it will show you exactly which institutions are now included in that report. It will also give you the exact scenario used to create your ranking in this case. So showing that we are on a per capita basis using various what if numbers. Down below, it will also give you the same sort of overview and show you how your plan has resulted in a change in your rank. So if we increase in our scenario our funding to $6 million, that would move us from number 6 to number 1. Similar to the chart index, you can return into the ranking by clicking the little arrow. So if we go back into Adjust Filters, one important thing to note is Reset to Default. If I zoom back in here, we'll always return this back to the default chart index settings. So if you ever want to go back into the standard chart index that's used for the fixed ranking, you simply click Reset to Default, and that will also reset all your what if scenarios. So if we go back to Apply Filters, we'll now be back at the standard chart ranking. And you can see in this case, we are back at our number 5 position. So knowing that, let's go into Target a Rank. So similar to build a scenario, in order to access this, we're going to start in Adjust Filters. Now you'll see that this page looks very similar, but we have one new feature, which is our target rank. So knowing that we are currently ranked 5th in the scenario that we've created, let's see what we need to do to get to 3rd. So let's put a target rank of 3 in here and click Apply Filters. And you'll see back now on this page, we'll have different pathways that show us how we can get to that position. So using a balanced pathway that's even across the board, we would need to get 7 more publications, $1.3 million increase in funding, an additional 93 policy citations, an increase in our field weight citation index of 0.3, and an increase in our prestige honors of 3 overall. It also will look across different pathways if you only want to look at a single lever, what you would need to achieve. So this will allow you to gameplay some different strategies in order to get your ranking improved. Within ChartIF, because every scenario is interactive, users can move between assumptions and evidence without rebuilding the analysis outside the dashboard. This makes it possible to test different strategic questions, inspect the resulting patterns, and refine all scenarios as new questions emerge. Together, ChartIndex and ChartIF separate consistent public benchmarking from flexible internal analysis. The fixed index provides a transparent, consistent reference point, while the flexible tool helps schools understand their results, explore mission-aligned questions, and use research evidence to inform strategy. We hope you enjoyed this tool as much as we do.